update. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
And ladies,
Yeah.
first and foremost, when the day that this episode comes out, I will be on a jet plane heading back to Los Angeles to the Californias.
I know, we're so excited. Next week we'll be recording together.
Time undetermined. Not sure how long, but until that visa gets sorted. And then, but I have to tell you about my fucking weekend, or my day yesterday. Not even my week, my day yesterday.
Okay.
I had the most what the fuck day. I hadn't left my home. It was great. I was working from home.
Yeah.
Everything was great. Everything's normal. I'd set up an appointment to take Rose to the vet because I have to go to fly home, and I'm bringing her obviously with me, but I need to get her a pet passport, which by the way, it looks like a real person passport minus the picture.
That's
Adorable.
Kind of the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Adorable.
I can't wait to show you guys. It's really cute.
Minus the picture. They should add the picture. Add the picture.
Absolutely.
Chris said staple a picture to it. It's so cute. I was like, watch it be like invalid if you do that. It's like safety or a paperclip. So anyway, we go outside. Great. Everything starts out great. We get to the gate, open the gate, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I literally was like, there were cops everywhere. I mean, full riot gear police all over. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Is there like a war going on out here that I don't know about? Like a very quiet war, by the way.
Quiet war.
But there's literally like full blown police. There's cop cars. There's the buses. There's the cop buses. What am I trying to say?
The cop buses. Yes, of course.
Vans. Okay. Cop buses.
I legit did not know what you were talking about. I was like, what do you mean?
They had like those riot tanks. You know what I'm talking about? Like the big, tanks. They're like riot shit. I was like, what in the absolute hell is going on? So then I was like, okay, this is really weird. So I'm like, I'm gonna mind my business. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. Remember our motto for the year. We learned that. And so Rose and I just headed to the metro station. I was like, I'm going to go grab my train. And no problems, nothing. But I was literally like, what the fuck is going on? So what it turns out is that I live in like St. Pauli, the Shanza area, which is a fucking impeccable area. However, I can literally see Alaska from my house. No, I can see the stadium where St. Pauli plays. So there was a St. Pauli game. I think this is the first time I've been here when there was a St. Pauli game going on. Apparently, this is like per the norm.
Listen, I need
Sports.
people to start acting right about sports. You know, so this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like, I don't know how it works in Germany, but in the United States, I'm like, our tax dollars going towards having to make sure people don't light a car on fire after their team loses.
Oh, yeah, but women are the emotional ones.
Bananas. Oh! Truly fucking insane. Like,
yes, ma'am.
I do.
Preach, Christina.
God.
No,
like, and women are the
yeah. It's like
well, anger is not an emotion.
Sports, yeah,
didn't you know that?
Oh, of course. Well, that leads into the popular like.
Okay. Done.
All right.
Girl, it gets so much worse. So I get on the train. Great. I make it to my next place. I took the U-Bahn to the S-Bahn. Great. I'm about to get onto the S-Bahn, waiting for the train. No train. Waiting. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So then I was like, texting my friend, like, what the fuck is going on in the city? Like, are we all on meltdown? And she was like, oh no, a train derailed and hit a commuter train. So it was a construction train, like went off the rails and hit an S-Bahn train. So the S-Bahn trains are down. I lived both of your nightmares. Like I can't explain how nightmarish this scenario is. So I have to go find a bus. Great. But I'm also on like a time crunch. So I'm like, no time to be precious. Bus comes. It's already full. We push like probably 8 more people onto the already full train. It's Christina. It's so full. I'm holding Rose like this in my chest. I'm holding on to my coat. So I have nothing else I can hold on to. I have two guys in front of me, an older gentleman and a guy like closer to, like a little younger than me. And I'm like, I can't hold on to anything. So it's literally like the bus is moving. And thank God these guys are not creepers. They were both incredibly nice gentlemen and who were like, oh, you're fine. You're totally fine. And it was literally sardines.
No fucking thank you.
Girl, it was like,
I don't want you. You know, I was having this conversation with my mom and my brother because I just went on vacation with them to New Mexico, and we were doing a lot of driving, and we were talking in the car, and we were talking about water parks. And I really do think, first of all, that I've kind of outgrown a water park. They kind of like skeeve me out a little bit these days. But my brother was talking about a water park, like something went awry at a water park somewhere in China. And the water park was so full because there was just like too many people in the water park that they were bodies on bodies standing in the wave pool. Like, can you fucking imagine being shoulder to shoulder?
No. Not because you want to.
Piss?
See, this is different. I just want
to back in a wave pool.
In a piss pool?
In a piss.
I
honestly, every time I see a wave pool, all I think is piss.
Yes, yeah. That's why I'm like, I don't know that I can do water parks at my big old age these days. Like the whole time I'm floating down that lazy river, I'm just like, how much bacteria is in this bitch?
Yeah,
a lot.
That's how we get like COVID. Honestly, it's a wave pool.
Well, beyond
people be looking at labs and like different things. I'm like, have we checked the wave pools though?
The wave pools and the ball pits at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, honestly,
yeah, you're onto something.
Yeah.
So I get off the bus at Altona, and it had started raining. No problem. It's not raining so much, and honestly, it was just like I walked to the place. So I get to the vet's office, open the door. I'm walking down the stairs. Girl, when I tell you I cartoon fell, my foot slipped because it was wet on the stair. I fell. My foot, I sent you guys a picture.
Yeah.
My foot is so swollen and bruised. It looks absolutely bonkers. I fell so hard. I landed on my butt and just sat there. Did people see me? Oh, yeah.
Sometimes that's the way. You just got to take a minute, honestly, like let yourself reset from what just happened. Control, Alt, delete that before you stand back up.
Yep.
I literally just sat there, looked at these two ladies who were at the reception, and they're like, eyes wide. Like, are you okay? I'm like, just nodding my head, making that, this is fine face. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just going to sit here for a second. I'm just going to sit.
That's the move. As
here,
a perpetually
contemplate my fucking life.
Clumsy person, like that is the move. That's what you do. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The number of times I've fallen in public or almost fallen in public is because sometimes that's almost worse whenever you do that thing where you like trip and then you like mid-air cartoon like helicopter wing your arms to try not to fall and then save yourself.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that's almost worse when people are watching because it's just, you look so insane.
It's 100% insane. And I hurt too, but I can't even play off like I'm hurt. Like I'm fucking hurt. I'm hurting. I'm like, oh no, I'm totally fine.
It's such a Midwest thing to do as well. Where you're just like, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Most Midwest.
You could have broken your ankle.
Mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Broken ankle. Yeah.
Oh my
just
God.
Walk it off. Put some Vicks on it.
It's been okay. So that is my absolute nightmare yesterday. Oh, and then it took me almost 2 hours to get back because once again, the trains weren't running.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out how to get to another bus. It was a diabolical
That's the worst
day.
because like when I'm ready to go home, I'm so ready to fucking go home. That's one thing about like the traffic in LA where it's just like, if I'm ready to be at the place now, like, and I'm still stuck on this fucking highway.
Here's what I'll say. The future needed to really pull through on that like transportation. And I'm not feeling it for us right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Jetsons was a lie. I don't have flying cars. I don't have a robot vacuum. Like I'm still salty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm so glad I got to share that with you. Nonsense.
Yeah. What a crazy day. Okay, so I think what Christina was going to bring up earlier.
Oh, sorry.
Because no, we needed to know all of that. We needed to hear your story about falling on your ass in front of
a German vet.
But the internet has absolutely gone batshit insane. And I remember whenever I heard this, because it was like a couple weeks ago. So we pre-recorded, and so we haven't recorded together in like 2 weeks. And the internet, I remember seeing this on TikTok, and it took me, I don't know, 30 seconds to figure out, like not even 15 seconds to figure out what my answer would be.
Oh, yeah.
But this woman said, like, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a bear or a man? Assuming it's a man you don't know. Like, would you rather be like a random man? Obviously.
A random man?
Obviously. And any man.
I mean, if it was my husband, absolutely.
Well, of course. It's not a man you know. It's like a man, a stranger, a strange man, or a bear. And
Too
it's
unpredictable.
Like literally every single woman. I think I saw.
Yeah, we're talking about the man.
Say man.
Too unpredictable.
Yes. Too unpredictable.
No, it's too unpredictable. Like a bear is far more predictable. There's so much shit you could do to like get yourself out of a situation with a bear. And also,
hey bear, hey bear, hey bear. You can't go, hey man. Hey.
In fact, you don't want to do that.
Hey, man.
That's the last thing you should do with the man.
In fact, I'm like hiding behind a
strange
tree.
Man.
Don't see me, man.
And it's been such an interesting thing because like the discourse has been so interesting. And of course, there are men who are pissed off about this and mansplaining the situation, bears to women. Like we don't know what a fucking bear is. Like, we know. No, we know. We're saying like we would take our chances with the bear.
Yeah.
Rather than taking our chances
Once
with
again,
the man.
More predictable.
Right. And it's like you realize that you getting on this app and trying to convince us that we are wrong or stupid for picking the bear.
Why I will still always choose the fucking
just
bear.
Reinforces us wanting to pick the bear. Like you get that, right? Like, but I also found it interesting that like,
oh man,
some men, and it's sad that it needs to be put in this in this like perspective for them. But I saw 2 videos where one of them was a woman who asked her husband, "Would you rather our daughter be stuck in the woods with a bear or a man?" And he's like, "What kind of man?" And it's like, we don't know. We don't know. That's the point. Yeah. We don't fucking know. We don't know if it's like a nice guy or a guy that will help us. Like,
notice I didn't ask what kind of bear.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
Polar,
and the other one was a grandpa.
Could be a teddy bear.
Yeah.
The options really are vast.
Right.
And I'm still choosing the bear.
Right. And the other was a grandpa asked about his granddaughter, and he still said fucking bear. Like the men are saying bear. Like whenever you have to put like a chance it with a strange man or a bear. Right. And we get like hashtag not all men. We fucking get it. Like we understand that, but we don't know which ones. We don't fucking know.
It's almost like some guys are almost there when you give them that hypothetical situation, because they do start asking questions like to try to figure out what kind of man. And it's like, see, you're almost getting it.
You get
you're
it.
Almost there.
And you're almost got it.
We have a mutual friend who spends a lot of her time outdoors, hiking, rock climbing. And she put something on her stories about this where she's like, I've run into both strange men and bears, like whenever I am camping or like hiking in the woods with my girlfriends. And she's like, I would pick the bear every single time. She's
Absolutely.
like, I was once, she told a story how she was once out at like Yosemite or something. And she was with her girlfriend and ran into a guy who was also hiking the trails there. And he said to her, and again, this is also just might speak to how clueless men are, that they don't understand that this is threatening. But he said to them that he hadn't seen a woman in weeks.
Ooh.
Oh.
We don't like that.
No.
And the way that would strike fear.
I'm still running.
Yes. The way that would strike fear deep, deep into my fucking soul. Like
a bear has never said that to you.
Amen. Hey.
No.
Start treating men like bears.
Truly. You know, that might work. Just get really big. Get on your tiptoes.
Really big. Amen.
That might freak him out.
That might scare a man away, actually. It might work. I might try it tonight. I'm going out tonight.
That's awesome.
We could just carry bear spray and also use it for men. Exactly. Any man.
What'd you say?
Get close. Get bear spray and also use it for...
Exactly.
No, back up, you're too close.
Oh, I love that.
But this makes me think of the other thing that my TikTok has been flooded with, because it's been equal parts man versus bear. It's like a peace sign pie chart, right, where it's just like 1/3 of it is man versus bear, 1/3 of it is Vanderpump Rules, and the other third of it is the new Taylor Swift album, specifically Post Malone dancing to just video after video after video of Post Malone just absolutely fucking getting it, and
I fucking love it.
It's incredible, and it's such a green flag behavior that I'm just like, I've never been so attracted to. He looks goofy as hell, but
he's not actually dancing. They're just putting Taylor Swift songs over him dancing.
Well, he's actually danced. That's what he does at his concerts, to his own songs. Right. But yes. he is featured on Taylor Swift's new album, so they're stitching. So they're stitching. They're putting her music with his, but it's the best thing it makes me so happy. I watch every single one of them when they come up on my timeline.
Yeah, men don't get it. Like, just be nice, be fun. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's giving off. It's giving off like Post Malone just dancing like that. It's just giving off
he's so free.
Joy and you know, it is attractive. Yeah,
it is attractive. You know what's not attractive? Something I shared with you guys this week, which is real fun. Woman gets stood up on a date, finds out that the restaurant tricked her into eating dinner alone. There's that restaurants are now posing as people on dating apps just so they go to their businesses. And once you get stood up, there's a 9 out of 10 chance that you're going to buy something from them.
I mean, the marketing side of me is kind of
Christina,
like,
no.
wow.
Christina, how dare
no.
you?
Wow. Chaotic evil. No.
Wow. That's a handy, like, you know, sales tactic, but god damn, if that ever got out, of course your restaurant would be ruined. Like, that's terrible.
Can you imagine? It's so difficult to date anyway. And then you find out that not only do you have...
You've been talking to a restaurant? You've been talking to a Chili's?
You gotta get people
Chili's
on the phone.
Baby back ribs.
You gotta get people on the phone. Like, you know,
you gotta get these people on the phone.
That's it. I don't like talking on the phone either, but they're really betting on you not being like, can we have a quick phone call?
Exactly.
You seem to really love Chili's.
Right. It's the manager of Chili's. You're like, why does it sound like there are pots and pans being clanged around in the background? Where are you on this phone call?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh my God.
No, that's terrible. Genuinely terrible. Yeah.
So it made me think about a fuck, marry, kill for this week.
Oh, okay.
And I think we've done restaurants before, but I think maybe it's time to do it again.
Oh,
the chain restaurant.
The chain restaurants. Oh my goodness.
I mean, you got your Chili's, you got your TGI Fridays.
We've done TGI Fridays and Olive Garden before.
Did we do Red Lobster?
Yeah, I think
Red Lobster's closing.
What?
Yeah, or filing for bankruptcy. Turns out that Endless Shrimp is not a winning combo for
But
the Americans are like,
those Cheddar Bay biscuits are so fucking good. I'm gonna have to start working on my own recipe here at home, perfecting that. Although I say that, but I haven't been to a Red Lobster in like fucking 20 years or something.
Me either.
I have a friend who has a killer recipe for those, so
I'll take it.
I'll get you.
I will take it. I love it. I love bread so much. Like Olive Garden, and there's also a video of Post Malone like showing Jimmy Fallon how to eat the Olive Garden breadsticks, and he literally, I'm like, this man, gold
some
stars.
people like hollow it out and put the fucking like Alfredo sauce.
Oh,
in the middle.
Bitch, that sounds incredible.
Like, wow.
No, he eats he puts a piece of butter on every bite. On every bite of the breadstick.
And you thought your cholesterol was high.
I know, right? Yes. Wow. Wowzers.
You know what? I kind of fucking love it. YOLO for real. That's
totally
what's going on with Post Malone. Okay. Let's see. Chain restaurants.
I mean, did we do the Cheesecake Factory?
Oh,
the factory of
God.
cheesecake.
Did
I
we
feel
do
my
that one?
I feel
It
my
feels like we
arteries
did.
clogging. I actually don't know
I
if
feel
we
like
did that one.
menu is too much.
Oh my God.
She's
Well,
a lot.
like one piece of cheesecake is like 2,000 calories. Isn't that insane?
Wow.
That's more than
It's
a
like-
day's worth.
It's
it's
the
like
most
the world hates us.
Cheesecake Factory, it makes me feel incredibly blessed. What an abundance.
Yeah.
What abundance.
It's a cornucopia of
What do you want? You
Yeah.
can have
Hashtag
an
blessed.
entire plate that's like 7 meals because their portions are so dumb.
You know what? It's the closest thing.
insane.
It's the closest thing to eating on a cruise.
Oh God.
The
yeah.
Cheesecake Factory. It's just like
And that-
everything is swimming in butter,
that
and we will
brown
bring
bread.
you whatever you want. Like
Yeah, that brown bread is good as hell.
good.
You're right. Okay. All right. I think. Wait, did we do Denny's too?
I don't think
I don't
so.
know, but how about this? How about we fuck
Okay.
Mary? Since we have been real focused on the bread, let's fuck Mary, kill the bread. We've got Olive Garden
Got it.
breadsticks, the brown
okay.
bread from. This is unhinged and Cheddar Bay biscuits. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
You're absolutely right.
Because they are
Okay.
different vibes. They are different vibes. And I will say this. I don't think that the vibe of the bread necessarily coincides with the vibe of the restaurant.
That's
Because
right.
that brown bread is too refined for a Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
It really is. Like that brown bread has its shit
It's
together and it doesn't know how it ended up
rustic.
there. Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
It's rustic but refined. You're right. And it's got like a hint of sweetness too. I'm marrying brown bread. The
Brown
fuck
bread.
is wrong?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think. I got to think about it. Okay.
Yeah,
I
this
know I'm
one's
going to
tough.
fuck. That's easy.
Cheddar Bay
Cheddar Bay
is
biscuits?
fun.
Come on.
Cheddar Bay biscuits is going
Are
to
you
be fun
kidding?
as fuck.
Breadsticks. Come on.
Oh, jeez, man. Oh my gosh.
Breadsticks is a fuck boy for real. Like breadsticks is all you can eat nonstop, anytime you
Yeah.
want it, hot and ready.
That's right.
Okay.
Hot and ready.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the way I want it.
Oh man.
Oh, no.
Twice touched
Yeah.
breadsticks.
And you can't go
man.
wrong
You
with
better
any of
wrap
these.
it up.
Yeah.
Obviously. Don't be silly.
Yeah. You can't just raw dog a breadstick.
No.
Never.
Yeah. But I mean, you really can't go wrong with these options. Like all bread is good bread. I think that should
Yeah,
be said
bread
right
is
off the bat. We are
fantastic.
pro bread podcast. Like R.I.P. R.I.P. to our gluten-free babes
Trademark.
out there. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Our celiac honeys who listen to the podcast. I'm so sorry about this FMK. But oh wow.
Yeah, I think you do have to marry the brown bread at Cheesecake Factory. You really do. That one's got its shit together.
It truly does.
It goes with everything.
Goes with everything.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
just lifts the whole experience. Whatever you're doing,
Sweet
if you've
or
got
salty.
the bread with you. Yeah, exactly. It's literally the perfect balance. It's perfect.
Yep.
Too perfect?
Because I you know, because here's the thing. I love the brown bread, but there's something deep inside of me that can't say no to cheddar in a biscuit.
Oh, yeah.
Like cheese in a biscuit. Like
Yeah.
and
there's
that
something
Old Bay seasoning. Oh my God.
really appealing. It's salty. It might be too much for long term. I don't
It's a little
know.
dry.
It is also going to get your cholesterol real high.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but I'm so tempted. I know brown bread is the right choice for marriage, but
That Cheddar Bay
kind of
is
want to
gonna-
roll the dice on Cheddar
gonna
Bay.
dick down, man. It satisfies.
You know what? That's right.
It
You're right.
satisfies.
You're gonna fuck. I went for the obvious,
The fuck
phallic
boy. Yeah.
answer.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
of course.
breadstick. But you're right. It's Cheddar Bay biscuits to fuck all the time.
But yeah, because Olive Garden breadsticks has fucked everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
doesn't even have to try our
Anyone you talk to has fucked him. You wouldn't even tell people because you'd be like, I don't want to be a statistic.
Yeah, associated.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually, I'm glad we talked this through. Because my instinct was, as is everyone's, I think, to say the Olive Garden breadstick, but I'm going to fuck the Cheddar Bay biscuit.
Yep. You're right.
He's going to be fun about it.
It's flavorful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He does fun shit.
He does fun shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He is very tasty.
Yeah. And I'm gonna marry the brown bread. That's just,
and you're gonna feel a little guilty if you get too much of him, but like, so you can't marry him, right? Because you're gonna feel a little guilty if it's too much.
You meet him and you think you want to marry him, but then it's just like, oh, this was a little. Like I don't feel great later, when I've had 10 Cheddar Bays.
My fingers are a little too greasy afterwards. You're like,
I feel bloated.
No, it was good.
Yeah, plenty. One night stand. That's it with the Cheddar Bay biscuit. But you can build a life with brown bread.
Yes. Yeah.
Agreed. Glad we got that sorted out. The people needed to know.
You know what? And I bet the listeners are too.
Oh my God.
Well, we do have a new patron. So I want to give a big shout out to Emily McGuire. Thank you so much for joining us on Patreon. We are so happy to have you over there. And just a general thank you to all of our patrons. I don't think we do just like a general, we're so grateful for all of you and all the support that you give us all the time. We love you.
Yeah. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Yes.
Sounds good.
And we're back. Okay, Cass, kick us off with stories.
Okay, so mine is equally going to make you laugh and then also make you like annoyed.
Okay. Great.
Can't wait. All right. I went on a date with a guy on OkCupid many years ago. His profile picture was him in a leather jacket, and I couldn't really see his face. He seemed decent enough, though. We decided to go downtown to a bar.
You can't see his face? No. Any bozo can put a leather jacket on. I say this as a leather jacket wearer. No.
Of course. I was unaware he would be bringing his brother and his brother would be bringing his girlfriend. It wasn't a big deal, but it was our first time meeting and I felt a little weird about it. We started with a conversation and the guy kept talking over me and trying to one-up me on everything I said.
Can we talk, though, about how weird it is to like
surprise bring to double date?
Because you're automatically putting your date in a weird position where it's like, or
you're outnumbered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they know you.
They know
each
other.
You. Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's not something you should spring on someone. Like we've talked about this before, but if you feel like you need to, especially as women, like if you feel like you need to bring someone with you for safety, I would still tell the person like, hey, my friend's coming with me, like just as a safety precaution, this is something I do or whatever. And if you wanted to double date, then you could say like, hey, would you be open to a double date? But you can't surprise somebody with that.
The big thing is too, is you're already nervous about impressing your date. So now you have to worry about impressing your date and also making a good impression on his friends or whomever he brings and making sure that goes well.
And we don't know each other. Like we just fucking met. Yeah. I don't even know you.
Right.
Exactly.
And I mean, if you're like an introverted person or something, or someone that's just more comfortable, like one-on-one, like springing more people, it's rude.
It's a lot. Yeah. So at this point now he is talking over her, everything she says, he's one-upping. And she says, I was so beginning
unattractive
to feel hot.
One-upping is so unattractive. Like I hate that. Like, ugh.
It's not a competition, sir.
No.
It's just a date.
And if it is, let me win.
Yeah.
Your date.
Exactly. A bear would probably let you win, something like that.
That's right.
Hey, bear.
I was beginning to feel the need to leave, but felt uncomfortable that it was so early in the date. They decided we could play pool, and I thought, if I just stick it out a little longer, I can be on my way. He really wanted to teach me how to play pool. The problem was I already knew how to play pool, and I told him that. As I took the stick, he kept grabbing it and continuing to put his arms around me to correct the way, etc.
All right. This sounds like the Barbie movie. Is this the Barbie movie? I don't know how to do it. You show me.
I don't. Show me how.
Explain Godfather to me.
He eventually stopped and seemed happy with his quote work. After we played, I decided to leave, and his brother and girlfriend kindly said goodbye and left, leaving my date to walk me to my car. Now I can be pretty awkward person, so I empathize with the awkwardness greatly, and I feel a bit bad for him. He obviously didn't know what to do, but I quickly stopped feeling bad for him after we got to the car. He leaned in for a kiss, and I said, "Oh, no, thank you."
No,
I'm good, actually.
Oh, no, thank you.
I don't want
that.
our lips to touch.
Yeah.
No.
Bye.
I didn't feel it was right to force myself to do that when I wasn't really feeling it. That's when he started crying. I sat with him on a nearby bench for about 30 minutes, comforting him. I didn't want to leave him on the street crying by himself.
Patting on his
eventually
shoulder.
left
There, it's okay.
and decided, okay, Cupid may not be my thing.
You can't. That is so like just manipulative, like weird, and all of that. Like, listen, dating is trying. It is traumatic, and I have had a crying guy before, and it is. It's so awkward because as women, you know, it's difficult to not want to comfort them, or and it's just,
I'm so sorry, and it's not your fault. Like, what did you?
No, we're not therapists.
No.
You can just walk away. You don't have to. Ugh. Yikes.
Yeah, that guy checked a lot of boxes. A lot of red flag boxes. Ooh, boy. Okay. Here's one from not too long ago. I went on a lunch date with a guy I had been dated for about 2 years. He made 3 times as much money as me, but I noticed early on he was really particular about his money.
Oh, no.
Like he would always this reminds me of when we watched the Joy Luck Club. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Every little receipt.
Every penny. He always would calculate everything exactly. I didn't care though. We both work and I was just excited to go on a date. Since everything is expensive and I only make minimum wage, I save money to be able to do fun stuff like buy myself something or go out sometimes. I don't expect anything for free, so normally we take turns paying or split costs. I knew he didn't like to spend his money, so I offered to pay for our lunch. He said he would pay for lunch if I paid the tip. I'm in the US. We went to a regular sit-down restaurant, and it was in the middle of the afternoon, so they were busy. I knew what to expect and was not expecting 5-star service or anything fancy. I knew the waiter was busy, but I wasn't in a rush. We both got small meals. The bill was $20. I don't always calculate the tip, but will leave what I can towards the higher side of the amount. I knew I had a little cash on me, so I grabbed that and gave it to the waiter, who was some 20-year-old looking man. I gave the waiter a $7 tip on a $20 bill.
Nice.
My date instantly became upset with me. I don't remember exactly what was said, but it went something like this. Him: do you know how much money you just gave him? Me: I don't know, $7. Him: that was over a 20% tip. Me: it's $7.
Oh, no.
Him: the service wasn't that great. He doesn't deserve that much.
Oh, no. What a
$7.
red flag. $7. You can't even get a meal at
deserve that
McDonald's for that these days.
Woof.
Me: I didn't think it would be a big deal. It's only $7 and he likely needs it more than I do. Him: no wonder you're always broke. Don't come crying to me when you run out of money.
Oh my God.
I was completely taken aback by this because in all our time together, I have never asked him for anything. I had money at the time. It was mostly just on my cards. Yes, I am broke a lot, but only because my bills are paid. The restaurant,
ain't that $7.
The restaurant was very busy.
You are never $7 away from your dream home. Never.
It's never that one cappuccino, right? Like,
ooh, that avocado
That's what
toast
did
that
it.
one time.
yeah, that's why I'm not a homeowner.
That $7 tip.
The restaurant was very
Christ.
busy, so all the tables near us were occupied. He criticized me loudly and wouldn't stop going on about how much money I had just wasted. The waiter was barely 2 feet away, so I know he heard everything.
Oh,
it's horrible.
what a
Fucking monster.
I was
Like,
completely
get fucked, dude.
humiliated and have not gone back to that diner since because I am so embarrassed.
Dude.
That is awful.
What a red flag to be so stingy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think stinginess
for being too generous.
Yeah.
Get all the way fucked, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
honestly.
such a red flag for me. Not that we should all not just blow money or whatever, but
Right, be smart about your money, but like it's also her money, and you're insisting on splitting everything. You don't live together. You don't fucking what? You don't have a right to tell her how she spends her fucking money. And if she wants to give a generous tip, and that's how she wants to spend her money, and she can afford to do so and pay her bills, then shut your fucking mouth.
It's seriously.
Exactly. Ain't got nothing to do with you.
Jesus.
Hasn't got anything to do with you.
Don't come crying to me when you run out of money, sir.
I won't. Never have.
I won't. The audacity.
Has this been a thing?
The audacity.
Truly.
Oh my God. It's so funny. Today I went to, I told you I went to this place, this like really cool, like hollowed out church from like the war. And I went downstairs where the museum area was, and you have to like buy tickets, and we didn't know. And I just like, oh, I'll just use the restroom real quick before we go back up. And I guess the guy told the girl that's here visiting me, he was like, she's using the bathroom. It's not, basically it was like, that's not for, you know, whatever, people who aren't paying to be here or something. He goes, it's not fair. I was like, I'm sorry, sir. It's not fair. It's not
why?
fair that she used the restroom. Like, sir, if you had a problem, it's like clearly said out loud, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. Like, just be like, no, you can't use it unless you're paying guests.
Fair
like,
is
whatever.
such weird verbiage.
And also, is it your museum? Is it your money? Like people
Obviously,
that go
sir.
so hard. I'm like,
Right. Okay. Do you want to
what?
calculate?
Do they take it out of your check?
How much water did you spend flushing and washing your hands, and how much in soap? What are we averaging? Like 25 cents?
Jesus.
Maybe. Just leave it on the table on your way out. Yeah.
I'll pay you on the way. I was like, it's not fair. What if, like you said, what bullshit verbiage? Like, okay, not fair.
also like people that go hard for like dumb rules like that. That's what I always think. Like, oh, is it coming out of your check?
Oh, you're such a loser. Stop it. It's embarrassing.
Bootlicker.
Fucking nerd. Cut it out.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Stop it. Stop it. Okay. I don't know why I think this is so funny, but okay.
I can't wait.
I was asked out by this really good-looking guy. I was pretty excited to go out with him. However, when he picked me up late, he smelled like booze and asked me to do a painkiller with him.
Oh,
Guys, you gotta stop this. No random drugs on
no.
dates anymore. Like, we gotta leave that in the past. That is gutter behavior.
It is. And also
Truly.
like random pills from a stranger. I'm like, no. Hey, Bear.
No.
Danger.
I told him I was like 3 years clean from opiates and didn't want to do it. He begged me until I pretended
Red fucking
to
flag.
take it.
That is fucked up. So you don't respect somebody's sobriety.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up,
honestly,
dude.
that's really true license to just walk out of that date.
Yeah,
you would not be in the wrong to just be like, first of all, fuck you and leave, because like that is,
You know what?
that'd be like, it's pressing like an alcoholic to have a drink. Like, that's disgusting.
It's outrageous.
It's the worst.
A bear wouldn't do that.
Nope.
A bear sure wouldn't. A bear would respect
Your sobriety. Yes.
my sobriety.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't think twice about it. It would be like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, you do you, boo. That's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that was perfect. Amazing.
He begged me until I pretended to take it and tossed it on the ground as we were driving. This seemed to make him happy, and I tried not to be too judgy.
Also,
No, you can judge.
I gotta pause. First of all, you can judge. Two, speaking about man versus bear, any man who's trying that hard to convince me to take a pill makes me fucking wonder what's in that pill. I don't trust that pill no more.
Not,
Like,
not even a little bit.
No.
Yeah. Why does it matter to you so much?
Right. Exactly. No, it's so weird. I thought maybe he just doesn't understand addiction. Maybe he doesn't know what it's like. You're giving him too much of the benefit of the
too much
doubt.
credit. Yeah.
Anyway, we get to a party and he's hammered. He's so drunk
Shocker.
he cannot stand up. When I went to check on him after mingling for a while, he tried to talk to me about finding Jesus.
Listen,
Sir,
that's a left turn I wasn't
reek of
expecting.
alcohol.
I can't stand up. No.
Trying to convert me while you're actively falling down. No, I'm so sorry. I got to get out of here.
No, I don't want to go to your church. She says,
I don't want to go to your church.
I am a Christian and I am spiritual, but not religious. I didn't want to hear it, so I changed the subject. That's when he said to me, I knew when I saw you come into work for the first time that we were going to hang out.
Oh.
I asked him, what's my name? Melanie, he said. My name is not Melanie. My name is Vanessa. He was so gone that he didn't know who I was.
This is embarrassing.
We've never worked together. He was imagining me as another girl. I realize this date is awful and I want to leave, but it's now like 5 a.m.
Why are you still out at 5 a.m.? What time did this date start?
Exactly. This sounds like a house party or something.
You started the date at midnight? Like
maybe.
Because
911.
There's no way I would have stuck. If they started the date at a reasonable hour, like 8 p.m., and they're still hanging out at 5 a.m., she has stamina of a fucking queen.
I know.
Because I would have been out.
Yeah. I'm asleep.
It ain't for me.
He tells me I can come to his house. I'm pretty drunk too, so I go.
Oh, girl.
When we get to the door, he's all over me, kissing me. He was so handsome that I forget what a jerk.
I forgot that was the first line of the story. Red flag. Like, you can't trust somebody.
He's not going to remember who she is.
Exactly.
She doesn't remember who she is right now.
Exactly.
In the moment.
Let alone later.
Also, is that taking advantage of a situation? Like, this would be real gross if it was the other way around.
Yeah. Well, she's drunk too, so they're making out, and she's forgiven him because he's hot. I kiss him standing on his walkway. Finally, we go in the house, and we are surrounded by people.
What the fuck?
It's family in the morning. Is getting ready to go to church.
Get wrecked.
Sir,
no.
I swear to fucking God.
No.
You better fucking not.
Nope.
They have been watching us at the window, making out like animals.
You got to turn right back around. You're calling it a day. Just that's it.
The sun is breaking. If you have ever, it's been a very, very, very long time since I have partied and seen the sun coming
on the other end of it.
On the other end of it. That is a reckoning.
I'm known to do this when I go home. Like when I go home to visit, I am known to stay up like all night.
I'm a night owl.
Right. Yeah. And I will stay up all night. And that's fine if you got your shit handled. Yeah. Right? Like if you're up and you're talking and you stopped drinking like a few hours ago, then it's like, all right, you're good.
You are sloppily making out in front of a family that's
Birds
getting
are
ready
singing.
to go to church.
You're like,
our God is an awesome God.
God, he reigns.
Like, that is not the vibe, okay?
Oh my God, they're in their Sunday best. No.
She says, I'm humiliated. Yeah. His mother looks at me like I am the biggest tramp she's ever seen, and I don't blame her.
Look at your son. Redirect that energy, because redirect that energy.
Then his father asked him my name. He replied,
"No,
Whitney." I look at them all.
Another name. A third name has entered the chat.
Whitney. I look at them all and say, my name is Vanessa.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
No, you don't fucking correct him.
No,
yes,
you're just,
I'm Whitney.
Yeah, you're not going to see these people ever again. You're never seeing them again.
My name is Vanessa.
Poor Vanessa. Justice for Vanessa.
Oh my God. And
they marry this guy.
They break out in hysterical laughter. All I want to do is get the heck away from this sorry excuse of a man. I call my friends to come and get me, and as I'm waiting, he keeps trying to kiss me, and I'm literally using my whole hand to push him away.
That is horrific. Like you are sitting there patiently waiting for your ride in front of your date's parents, and he's like trying to fucking make out. Oh my God.
My friend shows up and I run to the vehicle trying to just make a clean exit. He comes running up behind me yelling, Whitney! Whitney!
No.
I scream back at him. Go home. And I drove away. Thank God. Worst day ever. Oh my God.
I always want to know the aftermath of these. Like when these people sober up, did you think
Did he remember her name was Vanessa?
Right?
Who's Whitney?
No.
Whitney, Melanie.
This is too much.
Jesus.
Oh my God. Sir, go home.
Whitney.
No. My name is Vanessa.
And just the idea of making out at like 5:30 a.m. on a Sunday in front of somebody's fucking family getting ready.
I don't want to make out with my husband at 5:30 a.m.
Nope.
Ever on any day.
What church starts that early? Surely
Also that.
It had to be later than that, which means like, what were you guys fucking doing
Honestly.
for that many hours?
Oh my God.
Because also she called her friends and listen, I love you guys. No, I would come pick you up at 5:30 in the morning. I really would.
Yeah.
But like
100%.
We'd have a talk
if
about
you can get me.
what's going on. But
if you can wake me up. Yeah,
exactly. Shit's on silent. Do not disturb.
Yeah, and we would be having a mom type discussion in the car on the drive home. Like, are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of your decisions? Do you feel good about this?
What was his name?
I don't know. Brian?
Yeah.
It's a J name for sure. It's a J name. That's a Jason.
That's
or
giving J for sure.
That man's name is Jason, without a doubt.
Yes. 1,000. Some hot Jason that's just calling a chick random. And the other red flag for me was that his family just thought it was so funny.
Right.
And I'm like,
he's done it before.
No,
He's done it before.
boys will be boys.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why
Your
we choose
sweet
the bear.
baby J is on like some serious fucking drugs right now, babes.
Oh God!
You know who wouldn't forget your name? A bear.
Nope.
It wouldn't know it in the first place.
Well, the other thing
problems.
that people have said that really like clinch it home is like, well, at least people would believe you when you tell them you got attacked by a bear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
One that I saw, and this is triggering and such a bummer,
Woof.
but I did see this one where they said, well, at least I wouldn't have to see the bear at family reunions.
Ooh. I know. Cassie just had a heart attack.
I know.
But seriously.
But for real.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That is... Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, sorry to send us into the ad break on
So I
that
still
note.
choose bears.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love.
Yeah.
Who is probably not a bear.
Probably not.
And we're back. And it's my turn. to tell you a story.
Yeah.
So I got this story from a coworker.
Oh, an unlikely source.
A very unlikely source. So I was telling him about the podcast and I was telling him about like how we do the Tainted Love segment. And he was like, oh, in the town where I grew up, he's Scottish. He was like, there's this story. And I was like, what? So I did a Google search and found the story that he was telling me about. So my friend grew up in an area of Scotland called Dumfries. Probably most notably known for being the home of Calvin Harris.
Oh, okay.
Who he went to high school with. So.
I love that you said that,
cool.
and we were like, "Oh, we know exactly where that is." Then Calvin
obviously,
Harris got
Dumfries.
it.
Obviously, Dumfries, Scotland. Of course, you know it. So in Dumfries, it's very, it's kind of a smaller community. It seems to be the kind of like surrounded by countryside. It's got a very small town vibe to it. It seems from what I've seen. A very everyone knows everyone community. Mm-hmm. Crime is not something the town is known for. So when this happened, it definitely rocked the city. So
Before we start getting into the terrible shit, can I just say that I forgot that Calvin Harris was Scottish, and that makes him way hotter
So hot.
to me.
totally
Like,
hot.
because could kind of take him or leave him, but you're like, he's Scottish.
Has
Oh.
a Scottish accent. Oh, man.
I'm intrigued. Okay,
yeah, that
anyway,
man is
sorry.
so laid.
So, side note though, hottest accent.
Ooh.
It might still be Irish for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It really might be for me as well.
Right?
That is so hot. Sometimes when I hear like Cillian Murphy talk, I'm like,
Oof.
Anyway, yes, Scottish accent, agreeably, I think can be very hot. What I will say is I work with 2 Scottish people. And I think with the same with English, there's a very like posh English accent. And then there's a very like, you know.
I'll say this about Scottish is I think the Scottish accent is really hot. I think the Irish accent is really hot, but I will never get over the first time we went on Boobies and Newbies and we had to read that erotic novel.
Oh my
God. The
God.
author, who I do not think was Scottish, wrote out this character's Scottish accent phonetically, and it was so insufferable,
so awkward
that it has tainted.
It was literally really awful.
It really has. It makes. I think about that. I like get shivers like thinking about that when I think about. Unfortunately, they're inextricably linked now.
Sexy book I've ever read in my fucking life.
I wish we could remember what it was really called so I could warn the listener because just to avoid it. But in general, yes, Scottish accent hot. Thinking about Calvin Harris with a Scottish accent for some reason, very
also
hot.
hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway.
Yes. So anyway, it's 1998 and I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about
that book. Okay, let's just pause real quick because I think the listeners need to know if we haven't talked about this before. That book had everything in the worst way possible. It had dirigibles. We
definitely have had
ghosts.
Dirigibles. Ghosts.
It was steampunk with vampires and Scottish men.
And no sex scenes. None.
Like 2.
None.
And you had to read like 150 pages before you got to it.
Yeah. And when it finally got to it, it was like 22 pages of taking off her gloves.
Yeah, it was like Tolkien.
Oh,
you know, whenever like it's just like, are we still on this Elvish song?
Yeah.
But with unbuttoning her corset.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have never like, you know, because there are some romance novels that you're like, ooh, when you read them. That one was like,
I feel less sexy now.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. It's okay. So sorry. Anyway.
This is the weirdest start to a Tainted Love we've ever had.
Truly unhinged.
1998. Stuart Allen decides to go through the Lonely Heart adverts and finds himself connecting with a lonely hearter named Ella Douglas. It's an advert, and I guess, 1998, this seems like a, very Tinder swiping era, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, it's a cute way to meet people. Ella Douglas is 57. She's a local, cleaner. She works, and I think she works for like the judicial building, like cleaning, doing that kind of work. She's a grandmother. She's, they're, 2 lonely hearts coming together. And, she is known around town as like this, like just cheerful, loving, all about her family. But she's also, a free spirit, very much a free spirit. She's somebody who enjoys her life and just really, embraces doing things. So, her and Stuart start dating. They actually dated for quite a while. They didn't break up until around 2000. So
a couple of years.
They dated for a few years. Mm-hmm. They dated for a few years, but they stayed actually friends after they broke up, because it was one of those things, kind of a mutual thing. It didn't seem like, this is the thing, it doesn't seem like was really any bad blood between them. It didn't seem like there was any ill will toward each other. They seemed to still, like I said, stay in touch, were friends, would come to the pub together, hang out, spend time together.
There wasn't the va-va-voom there,
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so when the couple split, again, like I said, they stayed friends. And even to the point when Ella was having a dispute with one of her neighbors, she actually asked Stuart, like, hey, can I stay at your place? Can I sleep on your couch? No problem at all. But very shortly after that, Ella kind of just disappears. Now, her family was like, that's not like a huge red flag, but because Ella would go on these, like, I don't want to say walkabouts, but like she would go travel and she would go do things. And sometimes she would, just take off. And truly right before this happened, she had called and spoken to her son and said like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a little while. So, you guys won't see me for a bit, but so like they weren't really worried. Mm-hmm. And then also too, one of the grandkids got like a birthday card. So it was just one of those things where they didn't think too much of it when they hadn't heard from her in a while. But after a while became like around a month, people were like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second.
I think maybe for our younger listeners, not to be condescending, because I think sometimes people say that and it's just like they have a concept of what life was like before we had the internet and cell phones and like and smartphones and stuff.
And there were cell phones in 98.
Right. Yeah. And at this point it's 2000-ish, right? So
right, you're right, 2000.
Yeah, so there were definitely cell phones. Not everybody had them, but we were not in constant communication in the same way.
No.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody was kind of like off grid for a minute, it wasn't, I don't think, immediate panic, especially if they were kind of like, I'm gonna fuck around for a while. You're like, okay, they might go, a few days a week without contacting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not that offbeat.
Whereas like now you would expect a text, at least like a check-in or something like that. But back then it really wasn't like that.
Yeah. And especially if you have kind of maybe a reputation for being somebody who would kind of take off at a moment's notice. Like, I got to be honest with you. If anything happened to my dad and my mom was like, I didn't hear from my mom for a few weeks, I'd be like, oh yeah, she's traveling or doing something. Mm-hmm. It would take me a while to think something awry.
Like,
because she's also the same person who has like that jitterbug flip phone. You know what I'm saying? So she's not texting
It's
me.
my mom's like goal, like her life goal that she wants to do is she wants to do like a cross country road trip by herself. Like that is like
nice.
Still on her bucket list of like something she wants to do. And I think she will, because she's talked about it for years. And when she does that, I fully expect to not be able to get a hold of her sometimes, because she's just that type of person too, who's just like, maybe she'll pick up her cell phone, maybe she won't. Like, she's living her life. Like,
Yeah. Oh, totally. But if I text you and I'm like, I'm concerned about you, I need you to text me back.
Right. She would text me back. Yeah.
This is also, again, 2000. So, I mean, we're in very early tech era. Mm-hmm. So a month goes by, and when the family reaches out to Allen, Stuart Allen, he's like, oh, yeah, no, I haven't heard from your mom either. In fact, she actually left me for another man. She met another guy and she left. And they're like, that's really weird. So her daughter-in-law is like, that's not cool. So they reach out to the police. Her daughter-in-law reports the disappearance, and, they start making, missing person inquiries. They're starting to like really, kind of amp up an actual investigation, because they're like, this is bizarre. And no one has heard from her. She hasn't been in the town. And so, weeks go by. They interview everyone. Everyone seems to be, on the up and up. They interview Stuart Allen. They're like, nothing really necessarily red flags. Mm-hmm. He says that some of the things that they used to do together, they would go riding around, and he goes, but actually I sold that car, so I don't even have that car anymore. So like little things, like he's like, they're like, okay, that's weird that you even brought that up, but cool, okay, bro. Yeah. But they don't really red flag it too much, except that it was just like a odd statement to bring up when you weren't asked.
Yeah.
And so, so they're like, put a pin in that. We'll see. But nothing really comes of anything. And so they kind of start to run out of any options. They're like, we don't know where to even begin to look, right? So all of a sudden there is a flag comes through that she has tried to use one of her credit cards to withdraw money at an ATM in a town not that far away. And they were like, oh, okay, maybe she's...
I don't know. Maybe that is, it's been a month, and mom is in the next town over and not calling.
Yeah.
Or checking in.
Yeah.
Weird.
You're really I'd be super far. Okay.
Yeah.
So they do flag up this expense, and they are able to find out that the bank did have a camera, or like the outside of it was facing, and they were able to see that it was 2 men at the bank, one in front, and then another guy came forward that used the card, and it was Stuart Allen. And they're like, that's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Wow.
It's really, really fucking weird. So they're like, Alan, Stuart, we're going to have to, let's have a conversation again.
Yeah.
Stuart,
also, you big dumb dummy, like ATM card, like, come on.
Really?
Yeah.
Sir, really? So he's like, yeah, no, I mean, he's like, I had the card. She left it at the house or whatever. Like, it was just very like,
I was strapped for
off.
cash, so I used it.
So I stole.
So you stole, sir? That's what you're saying? But, nothing really comes of it. He again brings up that he sold this car. And they're like, this is really fucking weird. And so they start to like ask around about
Do you want to
this
get
car.
caught, Stuart? Like you seem to be bringing up a lot of information that you don't need to be bringing up right now.
Yeah. So by this time, I mean, like a month, months and months have gone by. This is literally like 9-10 months later. It's now August 2001. Officers have been like, kind of keeping an eye out. They've also been flagging it up, to other people. Like, have you seen this car? Does anybody know? He had said he sold it to some guy. Of course, he remembers every detail except for the person's name. So it's like, he's like, okay, because they're like, okay, well, you sold this car. Now we're like really suspicious about this car, right?
Yeah. You keep fucking saying this
shut
car.
Shut the fuck up about this car.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're looking for whoever might have bought this car. They're asking around. And so then they hear tell that this car had been seen at the Galloway Royal Infirmary. It's a hospital. And they're like, oh, yeah. Somebody was like, yeah, Stuart brings his car here all the time and parks it at the infirmary during the week. They're like, huh, that's fucking weird.
For why?
For why?
Yeah.
For why? So it's not on his property so that, I don't know. So it's, like I said, August 2001, they, officers go to this hospital car park, and the officers, I watched an episode of this British show. It was like, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my, it'll be in the show notes, but the officers we're driving down the street toward the infirmary, and we see the Ford Escort coming toward us, and who's in the driver's seat? Stuart Allen. Stuart. What are you doing in the car? So they are like, wait a second, do a Yui. And they pull him over. And the first thing the officer says is that as soon as they start to approach the car, they smell an obnoxious, literally, quote, detected a strong, obnoxious smell.
Oh, no.
This ain't good.
Yeah.
So they pull, the officer's like, immediately what that smell is. You're like, without question, but of course you can't, we're not going to disturb the crime scene. They asked one of a local officer to drive the car back. Couldn't do it. Finally, one of them was able to do it with his head out the window. This man has been driving this car.
How did he not smell?
And also, how did no one, if you pulled into the parking lot next to this car, you wouldn't be like, what the fuck is happening? Because that smell is so distinctive.
Yeah, going through the drive-through, nobody's smelling his car.
911.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I think you'd be like, wow, that is insane, that smell, but you wouldn't probably associate it to that car.
Well, I don't know
maybe?
Well, I mean, I think if I pulled up next to somebody and parked to them, next to them in a parking lot, I think I would. I don't know that I would know it's death because I don't think I've ever smelled that. I mean, I've smelled roadkill and stuff like that, but I don't know if I would associate that, but I'd be like, wow, that is bad. And I think I would be able to detect if it's the car next to me.
I think so too. But it's hard to say if it wasn't for my dad's illness and his foot and what happened to it. And that is what the smell of death is, basically.
It's rotting flesh.
It's,
right.
It's so distinctive. It really is. I think if I parked next to that, I would be like, 911. Like something is not okay.
Yeah.
So I can't believe like
fucking right. That's what I thought
9 months of parking it in
9
the
months.
10.
Oh, 10.
10
almost a year
months.
You've hit all the seasons with a body
August
in your car
now. Oh my
August.
god.
Oh no.
2001.
That's awful.
And they were like, and it smelled that bad that they were barely able to drive it back to the
I can't
station
imagine.
to have. So finally, they do open the boot and they do make the discovery of a body inside the trunk. There's a passport, birth certificate, all of the identification, but they still have to obviously call a local dentist to identify the body.
He kept all of her identifying papers with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened was that Stuart, he did let her come stay at his place. And apparently, well, this is the thing too. Like when they first started interviewing him, he's like, I don't know anything about that. I don't know what.
What?
They're
IDK,
like, sir, this is your car. There is a person in it and has been there for a long time.
Also, you didn't smell that while you were driving around town?
Honey, how could you drive a car for 10 months? That's a level of disassociation.
Correct.
Yeah. Compartmentalization. Yeah.
You are disconnecting that part of your brain entirely.
Yeah.
So he basically says that the Ella had come to stay with him, that she was, staying on the couch. That one morning she got up, was making tea, came into his bedroom and asked him if he wanted tea. A fight broke out, non-specific. Fight broke out, and he went to throttle her neck, and she died.
All I wanted to do was throttle her neck. That's all I wanted to do.
How does
it's not my fault she died?
Be like, hey, I made some tea. How does that devolve?
Turned into a fight. I don't have no clue. That is real unhinged behavior.
Yeah.
At any rate, he does say that eventually he does claim, that he did confess to it. Here's the thing, though. He had to confess as part of a plea type bargain. So this is Scotland, so it's not that exact verbiage, but he basically pleads to a lesser charge and confesses what he did. The autopsy report does reveal that she was either killed by asphyxiation, strangulation, or is that the vagus nerve? The nerve
in your neck?
Yeah.
I think so.
That can kill you. Yeah. So they were like, that is what happened. Apparently he told the courts that he was so distraught and jarred by what happened, not expecting it to end that way, that he didn't know what to do and spent hours in the house with the body, just basically staring at it, didn't know what to do. And then eventually he wrapped her up in a plastic and a carpet and put her in his trunk. And the police were like, well, why didn't you bury it? Why didn't you try to get rid of it or anything? And he's just like, I don't know what to do.
He's just paralyzed.
Just paralyzed with it.
Yeah, that's actually scary. Somebody who can dissociate to that degree, compartmentalize to that degree, where you're just if I don't see it, it's not real. If I don't have to look at it, if I don't have to deal with it, then it's not happening.
Exactly. No, and that's the reason why, honestly, it's just everybody in the town knew them and knew they, were together. And then it's an amicable thing. Hey, can I stay on your couch? This is the reason why people choose the bear. Because who would have fucking thought?
Yeah, because you don't fucking know.
Who in the world would have thought?
Right.
Everybody was absolutely rocked by this. This is insane. This man has been literally driving around with the body of his ex-girlfriend in his trunk for 10 months. Absolutely bonkers. At any rate, he does, like I said, plead to a lesser charge. When he is sentenced, he's sentenced to 8 years. And her son said, he was like, I feel like it's a fair verdict. I mean, he was like, I That's very.
They don't
kind.
have like the rest of the world for the most part doesn't have the prison culture that we do.
We do. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but yeah,
the judge basically had said that if it weren't for his age, he would have served with probably a longer prison sentence.
How old is he? In his early 60s?
He was 64 when they met. So that was 68, I guess, by the time she passed, right? 66, 67. So around 67. Yeah. And then 8 years in prison. I don't know. The son, like I said, her son said, quote, the sentence is just and fair. Nothing can make us feel better about what happened, and nothing can bring my mother back. That's what his thoughts were on it. He also, quote, added, we were very close to her, and so were the children. As they grow up, they'll miss the fun and love which they had for their granny.
Wow.
so that's just, it's terrifying, you know? It's so scary. You just don't know.
And that he can't explain it any more than just like, we got into an argument and she ended up dead. It's like, what?
Truly.
Yeah.
What happened?
I'm sorry, what? Wait, what was the fight about? She asked you if you wanted some tea?
Yeah. How?
I'm going to need a little bit more.
Exactly. Let's sound it out. Like, I'm sure you got to remember something else.
Unpack
like,
this.
where do we go from tea to in the back of your car for 10 months?
Yeah.
That's...
I mean, I also don't like to be woken up. However...
Yeah.
I mean... Not that bad.
Awful. That's terrible.
Wow.
So... Yeah, I've never heard of that story and probably never would have if I hadn't, like I said, had my coworker not told me about it. But I was like, it was just an interesting story. And I'm like, I can't believe I haven't heard of it. It's a very bizarre story. I mean, there's not a lot of nuance because it's just pretty straightforward.
Yeah, because there's not a lot about, that's probably why they haven't done it on like a Dateline type show, is because there's not a lot of suspects. There's not a lot, but just the him driving around with her in the trunk of his car for almost a year.
That is
people have varying levels of the things that they choose to ignore. You know what I mean? Like, from the very small to like, you know, like for me, if I get an email and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to deal with that just yet or whatever, to...
That's my level.
Yeah.
100%. Like answering a text message in your head and then, you know.
Then just being like, oh, now it's been too long.
Yeah.
And so like there's that level and then there's Stuart.
Right. There's laundry chair level where you're just like, this is the chair that I dump all my laundry on and I just don't want to look at it for 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
The laundry paralysis chair.
Yeah. No,
totally.
And then there's this level, which is a whole nother level. That is like to be able to turn off your senses. Like those don't work no more because I don't want to deal with this thing.
I think about that sometimes, you know, if I'll like catch hoarders on TV or something.
Oh yeah, I have this
like,
conversation.
Truly,
gotta be that level of disassociation of just not being able to see it in the same way.
It reminds me of that the way that they talked about him on that show too, and the way that it kind of for you to be able to like completely disengage from that. It is very Hoarders level.
Also, I wonder what's
the stench.
What's going on in his head, though? Like, I would be interested to know, like, what his thought process was, because he also couldn't fucking shut up about his car. So it's just like, did you want to get? Was there a part of you that like was, that needed someone? Like, you couldn't do it because you couldn't face the situation at all, so you completely dissociated from the situation, but you needed someone to do something about it, because why couldn't you shut up about it?
Right.
And why couldn't you get rid of the, you know, like it's
yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's like I said, it wasn't a super long story, but it was interesting, and it did have that kind of like person, you know, interest level to it. So I was like, this is bizarre.
Calvin Harris's hometown.
Wow.
Murder.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
well, what are you guys watching this week? What do you got on?
I started, because my brain at this moment really can't absorb anything but like Bravo level trash. Like that is it. So I was convinced by several people in my life to start The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I did start it.
Can't wait.
Listen, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I really don't. Like when we get into like the obscenely wealthy, there's a I always watch the less rich housewives, like, because when we get into like the obscenely wealthy, there's a part of me that's just like, ugh, you know what I mean?
Fuck you.
But there are some interesting personalities. Season 1, Camille Grammer. What's she doing? Like, what's going on upstairs with that woman?
That storyline is really good, though. That storyline.
Okay, because watching her dance, the secondhand embarrassment I have watching someone who thinks they're really good at dancing and they look really sexy dancing, and then
that storyline is heartbreaking, though.
Well, I know I just got to the episode. Spoiler alert, but not like I just got to the episode where Kelsey like calls her on the phone in the middle. Kelsey Grammer calls her on the phone in the middle of the night to end their 13-year marriage.
Ooh.
To just be like, I don't want to be married to you anymore.
On the phone.
On the phone.
I think it's during the reunion when she talks about it a little deeper, but basically she was like, I thought it was really funny that he was like really interested in me joining the show. He thought it would be really fun.
I heard about this. I saw this on Reddit. Yeah, he said he basically admitted to, I think even publicly, he admitted that he let Camille join the show as like a parting gift to her, so that she would have like some income and something to do.
Wow.
Isn't that fucked? And he's been having an affair for like...
No, apparently I've heard he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Well, that's probably where you heard it.
Poor Camille, but also, if you see any gifs of Camille dancing, wow. Incredible.
It's definitely a vibe for sure. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm definitely on my... recent, like every few months, I'm like, I just feel like reading smut.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I found this book series. Right, it's the Boston Bells series, and
historical.
So it's no. Okay, so
are there any dirigibles?
I do have a type of romance book.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The dude is always like a billionaire.
Oh God,
of course, billionaire.
That is so funny for the most eat the rich person I've ever met. You're like, but I love the fantasy.
I like secret billionaire too.
Oh yeah, and he's always like so bad, just unreformed, bad boy billionaire. And it's always a group of girlfriends, and there'll be like 3 or 4 books in the series where each one of the girls gets a different one of the billionaires.
Christ. I am so glad you are marked safe and married now. Like, because the stress I would feel if you were revealing this information, if you were single.
Yeah. No, I don't know why I like it. They're
because of all the
beyond predictable, like in every way, and it's just like
so good though.
It's just, So this latest one is by L.J. Shen. It had a bunch of, like 20,000 5-star reviews on Kindle.
Boy.
And I had Kindle Unlimited.
Same.
You know, I do like the Anna Huang books a little bit better. Those are
Twisted Hate, Twisted Love.
But these are pretty good. If you like bad boy billionaires and just cheeseball tropes and some pretty hot sex scenes. Yeah, I recommend it. Yeah.
On that note, can we talk about that? That has come up on my TikTok For You page as well, is like Pollen from Bridgerton, those 2 actors.
Yes.
On their press tour.
Yes.
And I'm like, their chemistry is off the fucking charts.
I am very excited.
And they both were talking about how they broke furniture during the spicy scenes, like broke the set. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
I'm ready.
My body is prepared, honey. Let's go. And Colin got hot.
Yeah. Dude, they don't fucking play with the Bridgerton glow up on those boys.
Don't. They do not.
It's like season 1.
But I gotta be honest with you, I rewatched and they still can't tell them apart. The two of them. The 2 brothers. I'm like, wait, which one's which? Still. And I've watched it twice now.
White men.
Yeah. Which one's this one? Yeah. I have been watching cop porn. The Rookie's back on, and Lasai. I can't help myself. I just love that
you
actor.
love Fillion. Is it Nathan?
I know. I love Nathan Fillion. I can't help it. But I also started a spicy book, and I was just about to pull it up because that reminded me that have been meaning to tell you about this one. I started. It's actually pretty good. I'm not all the way through with it yet. Sweet Filthy Boy.
Oh, ooh. Jesus. I wasn't ready. I'm
Christina
blushing.
Lauren. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Dude,
some of her other books were hot.
So I go through this probably like twice a year where I'll be like, I'll read like 3 or 4 in a row and then just be like, okay, I'm done. I'll go back to TikTok for a while. But it's just like, it's got me thinking, I'm like, could I do this? Could I write a spicy book?
Oh yeah, you definitely could. You definitely could.
You could.
One of my favorite things.
Of the 3 of us, you could.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is men who like pick up their wives like spicy books or their girlfriends like spicy books and start reading them. Someone did that with an Anna Huang book. Oh, and nice. Just like was like, this is what you're reading?
Hell
like,
yeah.
This is what you're sitting next to me, just like casually sipping on some chamomile tea. Fucking the dirtiest shit you've ever read.
I have my Ember mug next to me drinking coffee, and I was like reading it this morning, and it's like, and then he took his fucking fingers and blah, blah, and I'm just like,
Yeah. I read Twisted Hate on the airplane.
Oh.
On the airplane, you are literally like 4 inches from a stranger.
Yeah,
on the airplane. Like I'm
just gonna shift.
I'm angling my Kindle away. I'm like, they don't need to accidentally like look over my shoulder and catch the word cock. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, they're like, what the fuck?
Oh man!
Oh my god!
Wow.
Well, if you guys have something that we should read or watch, or you just want to reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstatepodcast.com, and we love you so much.
Cheers.